Good afternoon and welcome to Angel's Haven. Oops, there I am in the mirror, choosing joy always. If you wanted to know what 50 copies of my book, if you wanted to know how 50 copies of my book occupy space before they're stored away, here they are. If you haven't gotten your copy yet, now you can do so. What I'm doing today is trying to do another declutter. I started the process because those flashlight and chargers and ones like them, only that I don't have anymore, have been sitting on the stairs right there for 4.5 years or however long I've lived here. And every time I come downstairs, I tell myself, don't trip on the chargers. So I finally ordered these hanging, I guess you would call them baskets. I thought I would need two there. And I ordered a set of 3. They are different sizes, small, medium, large. That is actually the small one. I think I must have been confused about the dimensions. So all of those things fit in the small one, which means I have 2 more of those larger sizes, of course, and I don't know what I'll do with them, but I'm pleased that it now is a little safer. These books, so that was my location for keeping the books that I brought back from Kansas City. And as you can see, I have 4 left. 2 of them still remain claimed, but the people that claim them have not come to get them. So technically I have 2 left. So I ordered 50 more, and they just came a few days ago. And my neighbor Ken was nice enough to carry them in my house. I've taken them out of their boxes, which have gone to the recycle, thanks to another neighbor who took a bunch of my recycle. That was Philip. Yay, Ken and Philip. And now I have this cupboard above my washer-dryer unit. The things that are in there don't need to be in there. Most of them, with the exception of my cookbooks and that beautiful bowl and the box, which has craft supplies in it, I think. And those sterling silver candelabra angels, tapered candle angels. You know, that it's just miscellaneous stuff, some of which I would like to keep, some of which I don't need to keep. And I think that cupboard, I've always thought that cupboard could be better used. I used to have towels in it, and then I bought that cabinet, which is actually secured to the wall, don't worry. I bought that maybe 3 years ago, and my friend Derek, who used to live here, attached it to the wall. So then this space was empty, and it has held various things over the last couple of years, and now I think it's going to hold 50 copies of my book. So that's my plan. I'm going to take everything out and put the books in there, and the flat pack boxes you can see over there. Those are, I actually have 2 sizes. I think the other size might be in the car. It would be nice to bring them in, but I'm going to see if they fit. Then my next decluttering effort will be this eternal bane of my existence, thorn in my side. I almost made a mixed metaphor. I'd like to not attract all that clutter. I really don't know how to keep myself from doing that, but I'm going to work on that today as well. As I've said 1,000 times, oh, that was pretty funny. I was holding the phone and I accidentally pushed the button that makes it turn aspect and didn't realize that my hand was in front of the lens at that time. So anyway, since I'm looking at you now, I've said this 1,000 times, I'm sure. When you live tiny, you have to be constantly vigilant and edit out anything you don't need and learn how to keep neat and tidy anything you do need. Since I have myself turned around, you can see I've been organizing using these organizers. These were the plastic shoebox size. I got them at Target for on sale for $3 a piece. I've used some of them, which I'll show you in a minute, and I'm trying to determine if I need the rest of them. So this was last weekend's organizational effort. This shelf and the one below it, which I'll show you in a minute, were just absolutely a jumble. Those cloth baskets, or whatever you call them over there, were on these two shelves, and they were just unworkable. So now this is the bottom shelf, and this is the top shelf. I got rid of, I wish I'd videoed it before I did it, but those 2 or 3 cloth baskets were just a jumble of empty packaging and things I didn't need or want, so I got rid of them. So I'm going to continue on working on getting those books put away. I believe that there will be things up here that I no longer need or want. I really don't know what all is up there, other than, well, there's a nice teapot up there, some teacups that my friend Brenda gave me a long time ago, or 5 years ago, maybe 6 years ago. That's an egg coddler that that Greta gave me. I don't know. My cookbooks. Anyway, I'm going to take it all out. I'm going to put the books in there, and then I'm going to figure out what of this I actually need to keep. So here's a little after shot of the organization of that cubby. And here's some debris that has to be resolved. And over there we have, that is now sort of a useless box. I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do, and I still haven't done this straightening. So it's raining outside, and I'm going to keep, I don't know if you can see the rain. Oh, there, in that window. There's the rain. This is what winter is like here in the California Delta. So I'm going to keep straightening, and I will be back soon. Like an hour for me and a split nanosecond for you. So for my next project, I am tackling my office supply drawer, and this is what it looks like now. And hopefully I will be able to sort out this mess and make it better. So the goal is to have this area so neatly organized that I can close the roll top lid when I'm not using my computer. That's the project underway right now. Well, I would say that is a bit more like it. I think with this organization in place, I can now move on to the left-hand small drawer and to organize it. And hopefully the goal would be that when I finish organizing the left-hand drawer, I will be able to set my laptop in it when I want to close the roll top of this secretary. And pardon the noise of my laundry unit behind me, but I'm going to continue on to the next drawer and see if I can do as good a job there. Here's a quick little interjection in this drawer organizing undertaking to show you how I've organized my refrigerator. I had been telling myself that I needed a new refrigerator, a bigger refrigerator, and that's a little hard to do in this space because there's only 19 inches. The refrigerator that I have, this one, is a Magic Chef. Yeah, Magic Chef. It's 19 and a half inches wide or 19 inches wide and 44 inches tall. My refrigerator can't be any wider because the ladder to the loft is there. And frankly, when you have a small refrigerator, when food touches the back wall where the coils are, it tends to freeze. And I kept losing a lot of food. This has been an ongoing problem for the 5 years I've lived here. So the other day I decided to clean out the refrigerator and go buy a new one. I found a couple of tall, narrow refrigerators that would have fit here if I'd taken out those shelves. Those are pull-out shelves. And so in preparation for buying a new refrigerator, I figured I should clean it out and defrost it. I hadn't realized until the last 6 months or so that the freezer compartment on this was not self-defrosting. So I knew I had to defrost it because it had about 2 inches of ice, and I knew I had to defrost it pretty carefully because it has an internal drain tray that is supposed to consistently accept drainage, and then the drainage evaporates because it's by the condenser, I think the tech people told me. I reached out to Magic Chef and they gave me that information. It's not user accessible because it's supposed to, you defrost it every 3 months and there's not much drainage and it evaporates. So since I had never defrosted it, there was a lot of ice. So what I did was turn it to 0 the way they tell you to. There's this setting there. And then I kept the freezer open and I used a wooden fork to pry the ice away when it melted a little. And I was able to take all the ice off without doing any damage, put it in the kitchen sink to drain. Then I took all the food out that was partially frozen because of not being properly stored, and then some of it was old, then some of it was leftovers that I didn't use. I ended up filling a paper grocery sack full of food that just was thrown out, and then I had an empty refrigerator. And I told myself, your refrigerator is plenty big for one person, you just need to use it more smartly. So of course I got on the internet and someone suggested that if you had your food in these plastic bins, then not only could you keep it neat and tidy, but it wouldn't touch the back wall. So I ordered some plastic bins, and I put them in my empty refrigerator, and I went shopping and organized my food. And I have been home Friday, Saturday, and now Sunday, and I've cooked all 3 days, and I've been able to find what I needed. And my refrigerator is neat, tidy, clean, organized, and I think I will not waste as much food. And I clearly do not need a new refrigerator. And the freezer has no ice. So I'm feeling pretty good about all that. So this is the second of the 2 small drawers in the secretary. And it's going to take a little bit of time and effort to figure out what all that is and get it straightened out. So that's my next effort. And wish me luck. So here's the drawer after being straightened. It was not as hard as I anticipated because there was a stack of papers sitting in the drawer that just need to be taken upstairs and filed away. Can you hear the rain on my metal roof? I'll be quiet, listen. Well, anyway, I got this drawer cleaned out, and a fun thing, I found this book called The Tiny Little House, which my sister Adrienne gave me for my birthday probably, I don't know, 40 years ago, well before I even anticipated living in a tiny house. And I guess I've kept it all these years, and I found it when I cleaned the straw out. The goal was to have a space big enough and clear enough to set my laptop and notebook in it when I wanted to close the roll top desk on the desk there. And I believe I have done that. Now, just in case you saw these syringes in an earlier clip, I want you to understand that's not either diabetes or a drug habit. Those are blunt needle syringes for filling cartridges, and there's a very nice container of Japanese ink that I was gifted for my birthday, which I haven't yet deployed, but plan to do now that I have the proper kind of needle. So I am going to continue on and see what else I need to do to finish this project. Back soon. So there you have it. The roll top is down. And let's see if I can show you the laptop and notebook fit in there. There's actually 3 notebooks in there. One which is my idea book for my book, where I kept all my steps for publishing and the sales that I made and expenses that I had. And 2 others because you can't have enough notebooks, right? So that's that drawer. And it closes. This notebook is torn a little, that top one. So that's that drawer. And this is that drawer. And there you have it. This has been my goal for a long time, and I'm pretty proud of it. And just to reward you for sitting through that, I will give you a quick look at my sitting room and how it has evolved. The 2 pictures on the back wall were previously there, but a little lower, and the one on the left was in a heavier frame. That is a clear acrylic. I believe it's called a floating frame, and I think it looks better. That is a Dorothea Lange print, and the one on the right is a photograph taken by Genevieve Casey, who did the pictures, the photographs that are in my book. What I've done differently here is put the settee on risers, 3-inch risers, and I got a cushion for it. I think it will be both more comfortable and easier to get to stand up from it. It was a little too low, frankly. No one that came over had an easy time getting out of it, and I certainly couldn't. So anyway, that's what my sitting room looks like. And there's my newly reconfigured gallery wall. So anyway, that's a little organizational insight into continuing to keep my tiny house in a way that is comfortable for me. So thanks for spending a few minutes of my tiny life with me, and I will see you next time.